So it seems many of you out there are fond of this little space that we've made.
So since it's been a year of this build being completed, we thought it was time to give you guys a close-up of how it's been doing and some little upgrades we want to do to amp up the space.
Let's go!
Hey guys, welcome back to another week here with us at The Handy Creators.
Thank you so much for joining us. So for those of you that may not know, we have just hit the 1-year anniversary of when we created this seating area that we are currently sitting in.
Yes.
And I would say that this is one of our favorite spots of our backyard. And to date, we get many questions on how it has weathered through the months, if it has been affected at all by the climate of where we live.
If we use it, if it's comfortable. I mean, you guys have so many questions, and I think the biggest thing about this whole project was that we weren't even gonna post that video because the quality was horrible and I was just recording clips here and there, but it's our best video.
It has turned into the fan favorite, and since it's been the 1-year anniversary, we thought we would answer many of those questions and show you guys how it has held up throughout the last year.
We have been giving away some little plans that we did of dimensions and supplies, but we officially have the plans of how to create this space on our website for purchase if you guys are interested.
This will go into detail on how you can exactly recreate one of this size, or if you want to adjust it to the size that you have available, you can take the same steps.
We want to do some close-ups of how this has been doing over the year, and we're going to be changing it around a little bit since this was the biggest project that we started with in our whole backyard. I feel like parts of it don't mix in well with the rest of our backyard makeover, which if you guys haven't watched those videos, make sure to click the link above because we completely renovated our whole backyard by ourselves and Daddy.
So let's start off. We're going to show you everything, how it looks. We're going to start off with the tables. Then we're going to show you how the actual seating area has held up, and the floor, and pretty much every part of this build, how it has held up throughout the last year, what we would do differently, and show you guys the changes that we're going to be making.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's start off with the tables. The tables was one of the last things that we did for this build, and the truth of the matter was that at the time it seemed like a great concept, but unfortunately Florida weather does not forgive. The biggest issue we're having is it's fallen apart. Even though we used all of the appropriate materials that were needed to build a table for this exterior structure, unfortunately it has not held up over time. So this is one of the biggest updates that we're going to be doing. If you guys see here, this back square has just completely lifted up and has bent due to the amount of humidity that exists here in Florida, and the grooves and the connections of each wood have just not held up, as you can see right here. So this is one of the biggest changes that we're going to be doing. We're going to rip these tables out completely and install new ones. We're thinking a concrete design would look nice to continue the concrete theme that this area has, but we are not sure what color we're going to do it. Now, let's move on and show you guys how the actual structure has held up.
So it's been a year and I am still not gonna purchase cushions for this space, and I don't think I ever will. With us living in Florida, we get so much rain, and honestly you guys, I'm just not the type of person to be putting cushions in and out of the house. So the pavers that we put as seats have held up beautifully. I think maybe the connections within them need a good pressure wash and maybe some more caulk to give it a fresh look. Now let's talk about this stucco. As you guys saw in our previous video, we did this stucco in pieces. This place is huge, so we weren't able to do everything at once. Also, we needed for the stucco on the sides to completely dry before putting the stucco on top. Even though yes, that worked beautifully, if you guys really close up, you could see the difference in color and tones from the stucco that was put on after. Same concept as when you do concrete floors. If you do a piece of concrete today and you do another tomorrow, somehow they never have the same color even though it's the same materials. So we are going to be painting the stucco. I know, crazy. We're going to stay with the white theme. We love the white out here. It kind of feels like I'm in Greece or something, and it is very different from everything we have. But we will be painting this white to give it a more fresh look, and it's gonna kind of close a bit of the pores that the stucco has, so it's gonna make it even easier for us to clean. If you guys see this black stain right here, this is because how these seats get dirty. Every time it rains, the water goes out by the connections. This falls off extremely easy with some water and even a little scrub of a broom. It stays completely white. So if you get to do this whole stucco on one day and it looks all the same, I wouldn't even recommend painting it. The stucco is good quality, okay? So this falls off like nothing. Now, we did have some issues, and I know some of you guys commented on our previous video how maybe we should have put like a little wire under the stucco, and yes, we have been seeing that. Right here, for example, we have a very small crack, but it's there. So that is another reason why we want to paint it, because it's gonna protect it from cracking any further. I think apart from that, everything else with the structure, we've gone through 2 major hurricanes, and this thing is in one piece. Honestly, we were more worried about the pergola and stuff than this. Like, this is not going anywhere. We got a lot of questions and comments about our wet concrete, and I'm gonna still stick by that. If you do not have experience with your concrete, don't be afraid to wet it a little bit more for it to last and for you to be able to work with it. Guys, this has so much concrete that this is not going anywhere. And mind you, this is a seating area. We got a lot of comments that, oh, you're losing strength, that thing's gonna fall apart. Guys, this is to sit. Many chairs out there are built of wood. This is concrete. This is not going anywhere. This thing is super, super strong. I think now let's talk about the floor, which is gonna be one of the very biggest problem areas, I think, for some people here.
And by other people, she means me. So when we were building this floor, we looked at a lot of designs, and this one was our favorite at the time. But if I'm gonna be completely honest, from the moment we finished this floor, I was not in love. Something about the amount of lines that this floor consists of bothers my eyes. Not only has it been something I've struggled with since we've built it, there has also been spots where the grout that we did has not held up. So if you guys see right here, all of this front area has completely broken the grout and has filled with dirt. And that has been a problem that we are hoping to fix. Apart from the grout breaking, another issue that we've kind of had with the floor is that it doesn't have much contrast from the white of the actual seating structure. So we've been looking at a few different options for the flooring, and we are still a little bit indecisive what we want to do, but we're going to start off with the simplest thing. We're going to paint the floor, see if we like it that way, and if not, then we will move on to other designs and other ideas. But I think if we give this a nice dark, maybe black charcoal color, it will really help revive the area and also make a very, very nice contrast with the white. Not only will we be painting this floor right here, we will also be painting this front portion and around the entire seating area to really make it match and make this white stand out from any angle that you look at it.
Now let's talk about the fire pit. Our method of using construction adhesive to put them together worked marvelously. We use this a lot to rest our foot on, and you guys, like, we do this all the time, and this thing is not going anywhere. It doesn't move. Again, remember that we filled the inside as well, so it is super, super strong. One problem that we do have, and I'm gonna give a shout out to my amazing husband for making this unique design on our fireplace, is this beautiful crack right here. Maybe I'll record and insert here how my husband cuts the wood to put on our fire pit, but this is his favorite spot, as you can see, and it's cracked the concrete block. So we are gonna have to kind of tear that out and replace it with a new one, and maybe buy him like a little thing where he could cut the wood and it's not on the actual design. But apart from that, it's beautiful. Nothing's fallen apart, nothing's moved, everything stayed in place. And inside, these little bricks that we use have worked marvelous. We did take you guys' advice on putting a little rack on the inside for burning the wood, and thank you guys, it's worked great. That really helped with the smoke. So now we can sit here without, you know, being inside a sauna.
So let's start off by tearing these tables apart, building the new ones, and then painting the floor. You imagine there's something living under here?
Shut up.
Let's go. So now that we finally got these woods off, the next thing we're gonna do is put a piece of DUROCK. We have some leftover DUROCK from when we did our kitchen build, which if you haven't done so, make sure to check the video above. And the whole reasoning behind it is because if we leave this and just do a concrete pour on top of this, this wood will eventually rot, and we don't want that to happen because this is the support wood for the entire seating area. So we're gonna put a piece of DUROCK, create the frames for both, and then we can finally do our pour. The best thing about DUROCK is how easy it is to cut it. So right now, we're just making the line, and then you can simply grab a utility knife and just run it across the board. It might take a few swipes, but you will see that it is very easy to cut. Now on the other side, we'll just grab it, finalize the cut, and you have a piece. And just to make sure that this definitely doesn't go anywhere, we're gonna be using the 1 1/4 inch backer on screws. So for those of you wondering what this top wood is for, since there's not much support that we can play with here, what we're doing is adding this top wood. That way we make sure that this stays square. Once we make sure that all the edges are connected, we go ahead, check for squaring, adjust, and then we will add a screw here just to make sure that when we're doing the actual pour, this isn't going anywhere. Both frames are done. As you can see here, we have a quite a little setup here, but everything has its purpose, I promise. For this pour, we're gonna be using the MORTAR Stucco Mix Type S, which will be linked below. And the reason being is because we want this to come out as smooth as possible. Let's go ahead and start mixing the concrete and doing the pour.
So it's a few days after. We just removed the other frame and now it's time to pressure wash. So
this is the fun part.
yeah, I'm excited to see how much dirt has built up over a year. I mean, I have cleaned this, but just with like a little broom and just the regular hose, but to really give this like a deep clean.
All right, so it's the next day and this is fully dry and ready to paint. We are going to start off by painting the seats since they are the white part and this is the part we want to protect the most. And then once that dries, we'll move on to paint the floors. Now, the only thing that we are going to be taping is this edge right here, as well as around the freshly built tables, just because we don't want any white to get on there. But as far as everything else, we would just be painting it, especially on the connections on the bottom, because since we plan on painting the floor black, we can easily cover up any extra paint with the new paint. With that, all that's left to do is to get started. Let's go. And just like that, the whole area is painted. We could honestly say that just that made this look brand new. Two things that we wanted to point out if you decide to build this. Number one, make sure to check out the video on how we built this. And two, if you would like to paint it, you are going to have to wait, I think it's 3 months if I'm not mistaken, because the way that stucco works is that it takes a very long time to fully cure. And if you paint it before that time, then the paint won't adhere as good. So we're gonna let this sit and dry before moving on to the next step, which will be painting the floor. While we do that, we wanted to stop and give a huge shout out to Saker for sending us their 2 mini chainsaws for review. These chainsaws are extremely compact and powerful for their size. They have both the options for a 4-inch chainsaw as well as a 6-inch chainsaw. And both of these are extremely versatile for any tree trimming, branch cutting, or even to cut down firewood. Their 4-inch chainsaw comes in its appropriate packaging with a battery, a charger, and miscellaneous supplies for maintenance, while their 6-inch chainsaw comes in its own carrying case with an included pair of gloves, safety goggles, 2 batteries, a charger, and also all the miscellaneous supplies for maintenance, as well as 2 replacement chains. We absolutely loved using both these electric chainsaws. We trimmed down some trees in our backyard for firewood, and all we can say is we are extremely surprised at the amount of power that these small machines have. If you want to purchase yours, make sure to check the link in the description below. Thank you once again, Saker, for sending us both of these amazing tools. And now let's get back to the video.
If you guys recall, this should have been a very easy and quick project. We were just gonna upgrade the side tables, paint the whole area, and call it a quits. So we've gotten inspired along the way to keep doing stuff. So in this part of the project that we didn't speak about at the beginning, but here we go, we are gonna be adding a walkway from where I'm standing, which is the pergola, to the actual seating area. And we're gonna be doing this of the concept. We're gonna be taking off the grass in this area right here. We're gonna be adding pavers and like rocks in between. Pages is almost done stomping and we're just making sure that the floor is leveled. The next step is gonna be, we're gonna open up this weed control, and we purchased this one at Lowe's. My plan for this area is to give it 2 layers of this, just in case there's like a hole or something on it. Maybe just to prevent it from like any grass really growing out of this area. We're gonna be sticking these on the ground with these little hooks. I've used this in the past and I don't love them, but this is like the only alternative that I really saw. So I mean, there's gonna be a lot of weight on top of this, so I really don't think it's going anywhere, but here you go. Anyways, everything's gonna be linked down below.
So we had measured where we're gonna have the pathway done, and what I'm doing is I'm checking for square by grabbing my square, pressing it against the thing, and then just adjusting this to where I need it. So now we're putting this because we want there to be a clear differentiation between the rocks and the pavers and the rest of the grass. So the rocks and the rocks mostly are gonna set up across this, and then the grass will grow just to this side. That way we avoid this mixing with each other.
If you guys just saw that time lapse, pretty much we put 2 layers of weed control. This, we made sure that both of them were the same height by measuring where they were up to this brick, and we made sure that they were leveled. Here it was kind of going downwards, so we added some dirt, and we made sure to put a lot of little clips on here to make sure it won't stand up anywhere. So very easy, straight to the point. Now let's get going to the next part.
We just finished both tables, and if I were to tell you step by step what we did, honestly, I don't know, but this is the finished product. After many tries, what we seemed worked that we liked the most was once the whole table was painted black, I came in with my white brush and just dabbed it everywhere, kind of to give it like that marble look. As you can see there, it gives it like a textured look. And then Adriana came back with the black and then did these around again, just to give it like a textured, weathered stone look. We just didn't want this to be another just solid color, since everything in this area is just a solid color. I don't know, we like it. Let us know below if you think this looks cool, or if you have any other ideas that you think we could incorporate into this. The good thing about this is that we can paint this whenever we like. If we get bored of this in about a few months, we could just go ahead and repaint it and give it a whole new look. So I think with that done, we are going to get on to installing the rock glue. We are going to dilute it with water, spray it around, wait about an hour, and then spray it again, just to make sure that at the end it's going to be as hard as a floor, or so they say. So also install some floor lights and some lights back here that we have for this area, and give it the final touches before the grand reveal. Let's go.